Onika Tanya Mirage, aka Nicki Minaj, just released her song Yikes. And she's going at Meek Mill all throughout the song, okay? It's real tea, all right? Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to my channel. I'm Charlene. This is Libra Views. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share this motherfucker and tag everybody in it, okay? So, I didn't report on what's been going on between Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill the past couple days, but if you haven't been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure if you watch Lovely T, Armand Wiggins, The Shade Room, hell, the regular news sources, everybody's been talking about Meek Mill, Nicki Minaj, and her husband going back and forth over the past couple days and the past week. So it all started about a week and a half ago, when Nicki Minaj and her husband was shopping in LA or Miami or wherever the fuck they was, and Meek Mill happens to walk in the store with his homeboys. They end up getting into it. It was a whole bunch of speculation, but from what I conclude, I feel like Nicki Minaj and her husband said something to Meek Mill first. I don't think Meek Mill was coming on there on that rah-rah, because when Nicki Minaj was later on tweeting about the situation, she kind of admitted it, right? So, you know, Meek Mill, after that whole video altercation went down, I don't believe Nicki Minaj said anything about it for real. And I don't think Meek Mill said anything about it. And if he did, it wasn't that memorable to me. So it wasn't until the Shade Room had posted that Meek Mill liked this shady ass picture that had pasted Kenneth Petty, which is Nicki Minaj's husband, in this clothing store. And I didn't really think it was that funny, but the bitch went viral, right? After Meek Mill liked this photo, Nicki Minaj went berserk, okay? She started tweeting, she started posting all of these pictures of Meek Mill in these horrible, horrible, horrible outfits. You know, it's like, y'all niggas be making millions of dollars, but clearly cannot hire, you know, stylists that know what the fuck they're doing, okay? But that's neither here nor there. So she was calling a nigga bad Bill. She was like, oh, you've been talking about my husband, my nigga, Kenneth Petty, since basically we got together for the past year. So everybody was pulling up an old unreleased song of Meek Mill, basically going at Kenneth Petty and saying, you know, why are you with this guy? You know, he ain't got no swag. He wears bootcut jeans with Balenciagas. And then Joe Budden was messy and said it was the sock Balenciagas with bootcut jeans. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of resurfaced. So after Nicki Minaj saw that he liked this picture, she started posting all this stuff, tweeting. And long story short, she was basically like, you're a clown ass nigga, you beat women, you know what I mean? You beat me, you beat your mom, and when we pressed down on you at the store, you was all about love and peace and tranquility. So that right there proved that in the store, when they got into it, Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty were, you know, the aggressors in the situation, you know what I mean? So, long story short, well, not long story short, shit, bitch, we finna talk. You know, back to what I was saying, you know, Nicki Minaj was basically admitting that, you know, she basically ran down on a nigga and a nigga was hands up, don't shoot, right? So, Meek Mill was going back, and Meek Mill brought up, you know, how everybody in the industry doesn't like her, and brought up how, you know, that Nicki Minaj wants Meek Mill to clash with her husband and he ain't gonna fall for it. And he also brought up the fact that you want to talk about me beating women, which is mighty convenient because we've been broken up for years, and now all of a sudden you want to bring it up. But you need to talk about your brother, who was convicted 25 years to life, I believe, 25 years for, you know, raping his stepdaughter. I believe she was like 12 years old. And apparently, you know, Nicki Minaj was writing letters to the judge, and she was co-signing for her brother. And let's just kind of get off this topic. I want to comment on this. She said that, you know, she believes her brother. She does not believe that her brother is capable of doing something like that to a young girl. And she also said that one of the main reasons why she doesn't really believe the mom and believe the young girl accusing her brother of rape is because the woman's mom asked Nicki Minaj for $20,000 and not $20,000, $20 million, and basically said that if Nicki Minaj gave her $20 million, that she can make the charges go away. Okay, now wanting money is definitely kind of like a sign of kind of like money hungriness. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and this may be right, wrong, or indifferent, but in that woman's mind, even if she did, and even if there is tape, because Nicki Minaj said there was a tape of the woman admitting this, or saying this, if there is tape, you know, maybe her logic behind it was, you know, I'm going to, you know, get this money, and this $20 million will be able to allow me to move my family away from this whole situation. I'll be able to put my daughter in the right therapy. Because you got to think about it. Yes, her brother was convicted of what he did, and he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. But at the end of the day, once he's in jail, that girl is going to be messed up for the rest of her life. And I don't know what Nicki Minaj's brother's girlfriend does for a living, but I doubt that she's a millionaire or has a ton of money. So maybe her logic was, okay, y'all want to give me a whole bunch of kickback, you know, because the mom probably brought it up, and the family probably was like, oh, you out of your mind, you lying, whatever. And she was like, oh, okay, well, give me some money and I'll go away, because I'll be able to put my daughter in the proper therapy and the proper situations to put her wherever she needs to be. Because when he's in jail, yes, he's in jail, rotting away, which is justice. And nobody's saying that's not justice. But at the end of the day, that little girl is still going to have to grow up and walk and live her life always knowing that. So maybe the logic behind asking Nicki Minaj for that $20 million was, it's like, okay, y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't want me all up in y'all, whatever, blowing y'all spot up. Give me this money so I can go away and take care of my family and give my daughter the proper treatment she needs. Which is also a fucked up situation, because now you leave Nicki Minaj's brother out on the street to yet do it to another young girl. So it's fucked up on all matters, but I kind of see that logic in her asking for the money. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen, okay? So that's that on that. So anyway, Meek Mill, back to what I was saying, Meek Mill had brought up the situation or whatever. And, you know, Nicki Minaj was basically saying that, you know, it didn't really happen. Meek Mill came to his senses and was just basically like, yeah, I'm about to, you know, fall off this topic, because, you know, he got a pregnant girl. You know, the girl that has the Milano fashion line or whatever. She's pregnant. She's laid up, ankle swollen, you know, nose wide, all the hands swollen, all that, can't sleep on her stomach. She's laid up. Got to watch her dude argue with his ex-girlfriend. So that was whack. He pieced out after hours of going back and forth with the bitch. So after Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj was going back and forth on the internet, the shit kind of died down for a few days, and Nicki Minaj started promoting her new single, YIKES. So she sampled it or whatever, and everybody was running with the whole Rosa Parks line. And I think it was very strategic of Nicki Minaj to promote that particular sentence at the particular time, because I believe it was Rosa Parks' birthday. Everybody was saying that she was being disrespectful. I don't believe that Nicki Minaj was being disrespectful. But that's just my opinion. So she's been promoting this song for a couple of days, and the fucking song goddamn dropped today. All right. So she throws a couple shots at Meek Mill, okay, through this song. Now, I like the song. The song is a banger. The beat is... See, this is the type of Nicki Minaj that I like. I've been listening to Nicki Minaj since I was, like, in high school, like, junior year, senior year. When I was listening to Nicki Minaj, I've been listening to Nicki Minaj pretty much my whole entire adult life. And I love me some Nicki Minaj, and I love that when she rap on a hard-ass beat. I love that shit. Now, don't get me wrong. If Whip It come on, or Pound the Alarm, oh, yeah... Bitch, I'm going off too. Like, that's, you know. But I love this hard shit. So she just dropped her song, YIKES, and it's kind of like a hard beat. And like I said, she's shooting shots at Nicki Minaj. And she's pulling out shade, bitch. Shade, see, the shade and the tea always comes for a circle. You know what I mean? You just got to lay back, relax. You know what I mean? It always comes back, all right? So she drops this, and I'm gonna play. So I don't know if YouTube gonna take the video down. I don't know. I'm only gonna play 7 seconds of the song, but we'll see. So this is Nicki Minaj, right?
Yeah, soon as niggas press you, boy, you throw up, peace sign, yeah. You don't want that action, pull your card, you decline, yeah.
I'm gonna play that one more time, okay? One more time.
Yeah, soon as niggas press you, boy, you throw up, peace sign, yeah. You don't want that action, pull your card, you decline, yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna read it to you. So she says, soon as niggas press you, boy, you throw up peace signs. You don't want that action, pull your cards, you decline. Okay? Now, you might not think too much about that whole decline line. Now, obviously, the first line of that lyric, when she says, as soon as niggas press you, you throw up peace signs, is because Nicki Minaj clearly said that her husband, in those tweets, she said that her husband and her pressed down on Meek Mill, on Nicki Minaj, and Meeky was not for the action. Meeky was like, what? Like, I'm off that shit. And then Kenny was basically like, no, nigga, like, you've been liking shit, talking shit, making songs, like, what's up? So that line is clearly about that incident that happened in that store in LA. But the second line, when she says, you don't want that action, pull your cards, you decline. Immediately when I heard that line, my brain starts working, okay? My brain starts tinkling and start working. And I remember when DJ Akademiks got into it with Nicki Minaj. And it was that whole drama with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Tekashi 6ix9ine was getting locked up and ratting on the whole New York City. And all that mess was going on. And DJ Akademiks was doing hour-long lives. And DJ Akademiks was pissed because Nicki Minaj basically threatened him. But that's a whole nother situation, right? So I begin to think, I'm like, she say, you don't want that action, pull your cards, you decline. That's deeper than just, oh, you a broke nigga. Because everybody know, he's a millionaire, right? So I believe that Nicki Minaj was talking about this one situation when DJ Akademiks said he had exclusive information about, I'm going to play the clip too, exclusive information of when Nicki Minaj was at a store with Meek Mill and they were shopping. They finally get to the register. Nicki Minaj puts all her stuff on the register. Meek Mill puts all his stuff on the register. So Meek Mill pulls out, he has a wad of cash. He's pulling out the cash. And when he realizes what the cost is, he like, damn, I don't have enough cash to cover it. He looked at Nicki Minaj and said, can you cover the rest of it? And Nicki Minaj got pissed off and was like, nigga, what? She separated all her stuff from his. And basically was like, I'm going to pay for my own shit. You pay for your own shit. And Drake would never do any of this fuck shit like this. Let me play the clip.
No. That's the story. The story is Nicki and Meek, while they're dating. I heard this from super inside, intimate. They're involved in this shit. The person who told me that, if Meek had saw him during that time, he's getting pounded out by the Dream Chasers. Trust me. I heard, and this is after they've gotten cool, and I guess they've talked about whatever. Nicki Minaj goes to a store. I don't know if it was Louis Vuitton or some high expensive store. They grab a bunch of shit. Nicki, even though she makes, to me, marginally a lot more than Meek, she's looking at Meek like, you my nigga, pay for this shit. Meek had a bunch of cash on him. Cash. He was going to pay for the shit. The shit came up to more cash than he had. He looks at Nicki, says, yo, could you pay for this with, like, your card? Blah, 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 ma. Give you back, blah, blah. It's not like Meek was being broke. He's just, he was paying with cash. She felt a certain type of way. She separated her shit from his. Says, yo, I'm only paying for this. And gives her card. They run the shit. Of course, it goes through. And she looks at him before she walks out the store and leaves and says, Drake wouldn't do that shit. In terms of Drake wouldn't ask me to pay for no shit like that. Keep in mind, it's an emotional Meek who's going through some shit. At that time, he thought Drake may have, like, again, I ain't trying to bring up old shit, but Drake may have shysted him on, like, he should have came to, like, some concert shit. He didn't. Drake might be like sneak dissing on the Rico record. And Meek paid for his own shit. And while he was leaving, Meek fucking tweeted out in the back of the shit, yo, don't y'all ever compare me to Drake. That's what he said. Go look at the tweets and listen to my story. Drake don't ever compare me to Drake. Drake don't even write his own shit. Blah, blah, blah. And then the last tweet in that first set of tweets, because he was tweeting on multiple days, was, I just did this shit to show somebody that I don't give a fuck. Who was that somebody? Nicki fucking Minaj. who gassed him up, who antagonized the nigga, and then he basically said that. That's what I heard, allegedly. And I guarantee you, niggas might, because niggas don't be scared to speak on this. I would love for her to respond to this shit, because mad niggas in the industry heard this same story.
So you just saw that clip. I know. See, look, when I tell you the drama comes full circle, the motherfucking drama comes full circle. So that line about, you know, you pull your cards out, they decline, that's some real shit that happened. They've been shopping before, allegedly. They've been shopping before, and Meek Mill ain't have enough money to pay for what the fuck was happening. And then kind of DJ Akademiks was hinting to the fact that Nicki Minaj caused the whole Meek Mill and Drake situation. But that's neither here nor there. So anyway, we're going to move along in the song. So if you listen to Yikes more later on in the song, she also brings Moneybagg Yo into it. Because if you know, Moneybagg Yo even spoke on the situation and basically was like, you can't go around liking fuck shit about your ex's nigga and then don't want the smoke when you see him. So Nicki Minaj, now see, this is how you know Nicki Minaj wrote the song recently. Like, Nicki Minaj wrote this song like within the last couple of days or so, because this happened not too, and she's referencing shit that happened a couple days ago. So Nicki Minaj came together and wrote this song fast as shit. So listen to this.
Bitches ain't moving right. Bad talk, but they ain't got no mouth for money. Bad talk. It's quiet, ain't no bad talk.
Okay, I'm gonna play that one more time.
Bad talk, but they ain't got no mouth for money. Bad talk.
And I'm just gonna leave it at that, because bitch, I don't want my goddamn video. I ain't monetized yet, but when they do get monetized, I don't want them to take my shit down. But I'm gonna read you the lyric. So she go, bag talk, but ain't got no mouth for money. Bag talk. She's basically saying, you got all this money talk, you got all this internet talk, you got all this bag talk, but you ain't had no mouth when Moneybagg Yo talked and called you out. So, you know, it's quiet. Ain't no Meek Mill didn't respond to Moneybagg Yo, and that's what Nicki Minaj was talking about. Man, oh man. I don't know how to feel about this situation. Like, I feel like if I was Meek Mill's girlfriend, I feel like she's probably the one that's like a little bit the most upset, because at the end of the day, Nicki Minaj and Ken, her husband, you know, she gonna be talking shit. That's what us girls do when we get into a relationship. We gonna be like, oh yeah, my ex, he did this to me, he put his hands on me, like my ex, he won shit, da 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 da. And it's naturally a man's, you know, aesthetic to feel like he wanna protect and provide for his wife. And I ain't even gonna be shady and insert no comment right there. But, you know, that's a man's kind of like, you know, prerogative a little bit. So I feel like if a Ken does see a Meek Mill, it's probably more prone for him to be like, yo, like, you used to fucking hit my bitch, you used to disrespect my bitch, you liking shit about me. I feel like it's more prone for him to like want to react. But if I was Meek Mill girl, I would be like, why are you even like liking anything about this guy's, why are you liking anything about this nigga? Like, why are you liking anything about this bitch? Why are you making songs with intros talking about this bitch? Like, let it go. Let it go. Give it up, Delicious. You look like a man. You know, I don't know. But this situation was crazy. And when I heard that song, I was like, child. I'm pretty sure. Now, do I think Meek Mill should reply? I don't think he should. Do I think he will reply? Probably. But I don't think he should reply. Because it's like, let her talk her shit. If you're over her, who gives a fuck what she say? And kind of same with Nicki. Nicki, if you wasn't so pressed, who gives a fuck about, you know what I mean? Who gives a fuck about, you know, him liking shit? Who cares? let him like shit. Let him be a weirdo. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like these motherfuckers is too emotionally like into each other. I feel like they probably did have a very toxic relationship, and usually, you know, when people have toxic relationships, you know, and it doesn't end the way that, you know, it was projected to end, you know, people still are emotional about it, but it's like, let it go, y'all, please. This shit is old. Like, you know, Meek Mill, your girlfriend is like, what, 8 months pregnant, which means y'all at least been together for 8 months. Like, Nicki, you're married. Like, you've been with your dude for over a year and some change. Let it go. That's all I got to say. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be coming back to talk about this topic, but thank you for tuning into my video. Subscribe to Libra Views, like it, share on Twitter, share on Instagram, share on Facebook, and until next time, deuces.